Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cyndy. Thank you so much for being here. I am recording this about half an hour after the verdict has come down on the E. Jean Carroll case. Trump has been found liable for sexual assault. And has been ordered to pay about $5 million in penalties and damages. So yay for her. This is a huge, huge day for women everywhere. And again, it sends out a notice to men who think they're powerful or are powerful and think that that just gives them the right to do what they want. So yay for that. I'm very pleased about that. I'm going to take a look at how this verdict is going to impact the GOP and, him. Before I do that, just a couple quick notes. One, thank you for all of your prayers and concerns with regards to the forest fire or the grass fires right now. As of this morning, Tuesday, there were 90 fires burning in the province of Alberta. 25 of them were considered control. They are not near me. And so far we are safe. So thank you very much for that. We had some rain here actually yesterday, and we're expecting some again today. So hopefully that is going to help sort of tamp things down a little bit. And we are expecting, however, another heat wave over the weekend, and that tends to spark things and fire them up. But thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. As I appreciate every single one of you who are here and support Soulprint and the Soulprint community. You're amazing. Secondly, for those of you interested in a private reading, I actually have a couple of openings for next week. So that's coming up super fast. And after that, I have openings the last week of May and into June. So if that's something you're interested in the Dropbox below, there is an email address, soulprint888@gmail.com. Send me out a quick little thing saying looking for reading information, and I will send you back what you need to know. All right, so this is going to be sort of direct channel. So I want to know, Spirit, what this means. What does this libel verdict mean? What does it mean to Donald Trump? What does it mean to the GOP? What does it mean to people who vote? Okay, so Donald Trump has said, this is part of the greatest witch hunt ever. The verdict is a disgrace. I wonder if he understands that he's the disgrace. I digress. Okay, so first of all, for anybody expecting the GOP to recoil in horror and scream, oh, no, this guy cannot be president. This is completely unacceptable. Don't hold your breath, okay? For right now, apparently, I heard he now has a 60%, I guess, the polls they do. So 60% are for Trump, like 19 are for DeSantis. So, I mean, okay, he's going to get obliterated. But it is concerning that Trump continues to pick up power. Now, don't panic. What is going to happen? The progression you're going to see is, so this fall, you have the hush money payment. I think it's a hush money payment deal going down somewhere in October. There's going to continue to be one thing after another. All right. This is going to end up being, I have long said that for Donald Trump, it would be the, death by 1,000 cuts, right? For the GOP, it's going to be, it's it's not the straw that broke the camel's back, but it is going to be that pileup of stuff that really, really caused a deeper concave than there should be. And that being the case they're going to, as a party, become weaker and weaker and weaker. Where you are going to find this starting to have a significant impact is once the significant advertising um, starts, the media messaging starts, the political advertisement, because what you're going to get is, his face with the word libel on it, sexual battery or sexual assault. There's going to be a lot of direct questions asked about the GOP, about like, really, this is the best the Republicans have come up with for a presidential candidate? Um, so eventually, and what's going to happen is they're going to continue to look weaker and weaker and more foolish. This is not a he said, she said. This is a verdict. This is a verdict. The jury has decided. And there's not a lot of wiggle room there. You can't really say, oh, well, he said, she said, who's to believe it? The jury has told you who you're supposed to believe. And so the Republicans are going to have a messaging problem around this. So you add I'm lumping that kind of under the whole Me Too movement, right? Women just tired of men and their attitudes with regards to female body autonomy. Okay. Then you have abortion, reproductive health care, and then you have guns. So the GOP messaging is going to boil down to, I don't know, like Biden, is Biden mentally sharp enough? They sure as hell don't want to talk about jobs. They don't want to, they're going to mutter about inflation, but that's dropping. So that's not really strong. Like they're, again, not going to have a message because Trump doesn't have a message. And if he doesn't have a message, well, then neither do they. And so they just, like lemmings off a cliff, they just keep following what he says and does. This gives another, what is that, an arrow in the quill, whatever that thing is called. This is another thing that the Democrats and frankly Republicans who are opposed to Trump, if they're smart, are going to use. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is right now in this moment, temper your expectations. There is not going to be some big everybody turning against Trump. Okay, it's just not going to happen. But over time, it is going to create embarrassment for them, create discomfort for them. That's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. What matters is that message, those 3 or 4 points are going to be hammered home to the voters. And what you're going to get is it's not going to be that um, the GOP is not going to have the power going forward. I said this quite a few times, and starting from very long ago, where I said as near as I can see energetically, the Republican Party is not going to have any significant leadership roles for probably another 2 generations. So you have the Gen X's coming along for this election. Let me tell you, those areas, they're done. And so any politician who in any way supports those antiquated ideas are going to be voted out. It's just as simple as that. So expect over the next 18, however months it is, you're going to see it's going to be like a drip, 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 like constantly repeating these messages. He's against this, you're not. He's against this, you're not. He's against this, you're not. He did this, and it's acceptable or not. So and let's not forget, there's going to be a couple more cases, not to mention the whole Jack Smith deal, where he may very well, end up being disqualified from office for, treasonous behavior. I guess we'll see if that actually happens. But there is not path forward for the Republican Party, and this is going to trickle down, okay? This is not just about who you send to Washington. This is going to be who is your governor, who are the, what is that, state representatives that get elected. Because more and more people are understanding, wait a minute, it doesn't really matter if we have a Democratic governor, if the legislature is Republican, they just stop everything he wants to do. So again, you're going to see it's sort of like a slow rolling wave that just picks up momentum kind of day by day, week by week, month by month as we go through, the next year and a half. As of right now, I am being told that he is going to continue to run, but it's not going to go well for him. Okay, it's not going because he doesn't have the skill set to answer the tough questions, and frankly, neither do a whole bunch of other Republicans. Because even if they have the skill set, they don't have the spine. More and more going forward, you're going to see other judges putting partial gags on Trump to keep him quiet about lawyers, juries, cases pending in the courts, that kind of thing, because it's the only apparent way to at least get his lawyers to try to keep him quiet. Miss Carroll has been absolutely vindicated. Okay. Money doesn't erase trauma, and money doesn't erase pain, but it is what our legal systems have. There is no way to magically reverse time and not make whatever that was happen. And so money is how we are compensated, whether you are, the victim of a sexual assault or the victim of a car accident. Okay. That's the compensation. That's what it ends up being. $5 million. I think the high estimates were 2.7. So doubled plus. And I'm just doing the math, not quite plus. And that's impressive. That's impressive. That's another $5 million that he's got to pay out because of his behavior. And let's not forget he's been paying out money because he's been sanctioned by courts and by this and by that. So you've got that going on. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the defamation case that is still being, I guess, on the book somewhere, pertaining to the inflammatory statement. Sorry. That he made when he was president. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. I just somehow think that they're going to tear up the papers. That's what they're showing me, and just drop it. There's not. How do you win that when it's already been in another court decided that he's liable? So going forward, you're going to continue to see him becoming more agitated, more vindictive, more verbose, more blatant about his revenge. Okay. That's what he knows. That's how he behaves. That's how he deals with things. And so you can anticipate more of this. I'm going to get them and I'm going to get them. He's going to rely a lot on, if this could happen to me, it'll happen to you. I at least have the money. How are you going to defend yourself when somebody makes an accusation? He will continue to deny that it happened. He will continue to deny that he made a mistake by perhaps not testifying, although I don't see that as a win-win in either direction for him. So anticipate a little bit more volatility. Ivanka is going to continue to distance herself because you know what? It's one thing to kind of know that your dad's a little bit scummy. It's another thing for it to be proven in court. And you know what? There's scummy in business. There's even scummy in politics. But sexual scummy, that's a line. So that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. So let's take the win today. All right. But let's temper our expectations because the Republican Party does not have the spine or the backbone to stand up to this. And there are perhaps a few people that have, said that they are running for the nomination also. They can take them on. The fact is, they don't have enough name recognition. They don't have enough media exposure. So, yeah, maybe in their town halls they're asking the question or whatever they're doing. But broadly speaking, for the most part, you're going to hear crickets from the Republicans. Now, what you need to expect and what you need to encourage is that the Democrats get cracking on their marketing, get cracking on their political strategies. I have long said, and it's a little bit unpopular, but I have long said that the Democrats do not need to sink to the standards of the Republicans. They need to stay above the fray. But that doesn't mean they need to get tromped on while they're standing above the fray. And so it's time for Democrats to become just a little bit more aggressive in their messaging and continue to call out in very, very real ways the lies, the dishonesty, and the hypocrisy. So that's what I know today. All right. I will be releasing a video as, normal on Friday. Um, that is also going to be a direct channeling. I think it's going to be a video. They're sort of giving me glimmers of where I'm going with that. It has to do with what we can expect as the light increases and the vibrational shifts continue to happen to higher dimensions. And what we specifically can expect in terms of politicians, in terms of how, in a large scheme of things, that increased light is going to impact and how we are then going to feel the impact of it. So that should be really interesting. That's all I know for now. Thank you so much for being here. I always enjoy connecting with you, and I hope you do too. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye bye.